Hello, this is The Harboring Light. I'm Mary. I give a conservative perspective about the world around me. So social media links, along with email, Substack, buy me a coffee, all of that will be provided for you in this episode. So audio platforms, I'm on Audible, Amazon Music, Spotify for podcasters, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Pandora, Google Podcasts, and I'm pushing myself out there to eventually I am on all of the audio podcast platforms. All right, so this episode is all about Shel Silverstein and his work. I'm going to start out talking about his work, The Giving Tree, and then go into depth about the musical background that he has. And then, of course, I'm going to give commentary. And then also comments, feedbacks, questions, concerns is greatly appreciated. So feel free to email me. And then also give me a rating on all of the platforms that I'm on. That's greatly appreciated too. It'll help out a lot. All right, so let's get into this. Okay, when I was a kid, I heard about, I never read the books, which was a big regret for me. But the imaginative stories and the depth within the stories that you learn and you understand when you're an adult. Particularly The Giving Tree. And I've heard about, and this is part of pop culture too, the story. Now that I have children of my own, and my husband suggested to get The Giving Tree to read to our own children. And the story behind The Giving Tree is really impactful. So let me break it down and talk about it. So it starts out with this little boy. He's asking, and the tree says, well, I have this to give you. And the little boy asks for more. And the tree says, I have that to give you. And he asks for more as he gets older. And as he grows and goes away, he asks for more and more. Even though the tree is happy to see the child go away and be and discover and grow, the tree is sad because it's giving, and the boy doesn't understand the giving within what the tree is doing. And then it comes to the point to where the tree doesn't, the boy, the man, doesn't understand the benefits of having someone to be there for you and to give as much as needed when you ask for it. And that's a good example and a pivotal example of the bond between parents. And it exemplifies how when you dig in deep and you give and you don't expect anything in return, and that's the beauty of being a parent. When you're blessed and you're granted with the opportunity and the blessing to be a parent, it helps you understand the boundaries and the obligations and the guidance that is the duty of being a parent. And that when you give and you hope that the child goes off and understands the importance of giving. And it's unfortunate, as the story tells, that the boy never gets that understanding and that importance about giving. And it becomes a thing where, and it physically shows the impact and the destruction of being selfish. So, as you go on into the story, the tree is just a simple stump. And it has nothing else to give the boy. And then the boy becomes a bitter, gripey, old person. And I think in the essence that this is symbolic of being old, as a stance of saying that being worn down, being unappreciative to where you're gripey and you're not really getting the true aspect and the appreciation that life can give you if you understand the aspects of how meaningful it can be to give and to help others and to spread that idea of the importance of giving and not really expecting anything. I'm adding my aspect to it, not expecting anything in return, and the benefit and the beauty that can be where you just simply give to give and to see the understanding and the hope and the rejuvenation of doing and helping just because, without seeing any benefit for it for yourself. And I think it's very interesting to lead in the next segment that I'm going to talk about with his songwriting, how these types of depth of understanding leak into the songwriting aspect and the songwriting process that he ventured into, Shel Silverstein. All right, so let's get into it. Let's talk about his song, his body of work as a songwriter. All right, I Got Stoned and I Missed It by Shel Silverstein. It's part of the album Freakin' at the Freakers Ball of 72. Long before Afro Man wrote about missing out on life while smoking marijuana and Because I Got High, Shel Silverstein covered the subject. Shel Silverstein is a famous, of course, author where the sidewalk ends and Falling Up among his books. But he also wrote a great deal of adult material, including songs like The Mermaid and a piece for Playboy. Mitch Myers, who is Silverstein's nephew and runs his estate, says there's a moral to that story, but also is shown with a certain degree of insight into the counterculture. He was around people like musicians and artists and intellectuals and partygoers as his nephew is speaking, and a fast crowd. And I'm sure he was exposed to plenty of people that did get stoned and miss it. And I'm not saying Shel was above it. I'm not saying that was his pursuit either. But he certainly he had enough exposure to it to be able to write a song like that. And there were other commentaries on the great Smoke Off, which I believe which I believe he recorded and also was in Playboy magazine. So he had the ability to lampoon things that he was familiar with and find humor and creativity in the kind of cultural fad as they were occurring and the way that life was being led in the 70s. Myers is an author of Silverstein's Around the World, which contains many more stories about Shel. Jim Stafford, who recorded many successful novelty songs, had a hit with a song in 1975. His version also featured Ray Stevens and made number 37 in the U.S. Okay, The Mermaid. So this was a part of I'm So Good That I Don't Have to Brag, the 65 album. This song is about a fisherman who falls in love with a mermaid. He likes everything but her, but there's one problem. Her bottom half is a fish. By the end of the song, the problem is solved when he comes across another mermaid, but this one is a fish from the waist up, and the bottom half is a girl. This was written by Shel Silverstein, who is known for children's books like, as I referred to, and another book, A Light in the Attic, among the others that I mentioned. This is a concert favor of the Canadian band Great Big Sea. They recorded it for their 2025 album, The Hard and the Easy. All right, Daddy, What If? This was by Bobby Bear, but it was part of the album Lullabies, Legends, and Lies of 73. So let's see the connection. The song features a 5-year-old Bobby Bear Jr. going back and forth, asking his dad questions like, what if the sun doesn't rise today? The song is about the relationship between the father and the son. This was written by Shel Silverstein, a popular children's author, of course. Also a prolific songwriter who wrote hits for many. To add on to this with the depth of the other songwriters that he wrote for. Country artists included Johnny Cash, Loretta Lynn, and it was very rare for a country singer to record a whole album of someone else's song, but that's what Bear did on Lullabies and Legends and Lies, as all of the songs were written by Shel Silverstein. Bobby Bear Jr. went on to become an artist in his own right, and always begins his concert with a song written by Silverstein. Bear Jr. considers Shel one of his mentors as far as songwriting and discipline are concerned. Thanks to Mitch Myers for speaking about us about this song. He is the author of Shel Silverstein's Around the World, which contains many more stories about Shel. One's on the Way by Loretta Lynn. This was part of the album One's on the Way of 71. This song was about a woman in Topeka, Kansas, who has a bunch of kids and is pregnant with another. It was written by Shel Silverstein. Shel Silverstein's nephew, Mitch Myers, explains he was a storyteller. He was depicting this woman who was kind of in the middle of her life, and that was being a mother and a housewife, but not much else. And that contrasted with the Ballad of Lucy Jordan, which Shel wrote. and was used in the 2 different movies, most notably Thelma and Louise, and most notably performed by Mary Ann Faithfull. There's a woman who was in the middle class home and everything is fine in terms of comfort and aesthetics. And she goes crazy. Mitch is author of the Silverstein biography, so to speak, Silversteins Around the World, which contains many more stories about Shel. This was a #1 country hit and one of Lynn's best-known songs. One of the first pressing of the song and its title here in Topeka. Loretta Lynn could certainly relate to the ever-pregnant woman in the song. She explains to NPR that she was pregnant 9 times and 6 children and 3 miscarriages. In the interview, Loretta Lynn says that the song and the feel were the 2 that caused most controversy. The pill. Said Lynn, with ones on the way, I thought everybody had a baby. I sure did. I didn't think anybody else was too good to. Loretta Lynn re-recorded the song as a debut with Margot Price for her Still Woman Enough album. Loretta Lynn's daughter, Patsy Lynn Russell, and John Carter Cash, the son of Johnny Cash and June Carter Cash, produced the record. Margot Price is a big fan of the song. She told UK newspaper The Sun, it paints the perfect vignette of what it's like to be a woman and feel helpless in America without birth control. It's empowering and entertaining at the same time. Well, I disagree with that. I think that, okay, yes, birth control is an option to use, but I see that children are a gift, and that's a responsibility that a lot of people need to realize. Women, particularly who I'm focusing on, need to realize if you're really ready for that. If you're not, then, take the precautions, and birth control is the more suitable option instead of, and the unthinkable thing to do is abortion. But I don't think you should see it as you feel helpless without it. Birth control, I just see it as one of those things. Just take control of your own responsibilities and just be honest with yourself, and things will be okay. So I would like to close by saying these thoughts. So how Shel Silverstein connects with Susan Vega, Tracy Chapman. The connection is this to me. They contemporize the ideas of what folk music is. And in each of their own renditions and their own versions of songs that they speak on and talk about, they all unify in these ideas about presenting folk music in a different light. And then they also go into depth and give different perspectives about each aspects that humans face, and each aspects of social commentary about what lies within the human experiences. And then they also go and matter of speaking, mainly with Tracy Chapman, with political aspects, which I will go into more depth into that on Friday, and making political commentary about things and focusing in on that and weighing and getting feedback from it and getting an audience and rallying behind these political issues. And Shel Silverstein did that as well in his own light. Alright, so this reaches the end of the Harboring Light. And as I mentioned before, as Vitamin C said so eloquently, put a smile on your face and make the world a better place. Tune in, turn up, and definitely take care. Bye-bye now. Yeah, baby.